So here I would like to discuss about a case which in terms of your product innovation or new product development, the philosophy of the organization. I am not sure whether many of you have heard of this company, Rubbermaid. Okay, but you may have products in your house which were either designed by it. You may have Rubbermaid products, or you may have items which were initially started by Rubbermaid and so on. So this is a company which did all the plastic, rubber, or your related items. It has a wide range of products. Okay, so it's a kind of a house of brands kind of thing. The kind of products you have is, you think of any place in your house, any non-fancy or regular use items in your household where typically either the Newell products or subsequently the Rubbermaid products. Think about your kitchen, right? In your kitchen you have the containers or boxes where you put your pulses or your masala and so on, the boxes, right? Different size of boxes. The vacuum sealed boxes which were like your the covers and so on. All these are typically the Rubbermaid innovation. In typically your laundry room, the baskets and all the plastic items, or bathroom, your soap cover, or your ropes, or your nail clippers. So lot of those non combs, hairbrush, paint brush. So all these items, organizers or sets in your cars that you use, trash cans. So lot of this all you will typically see the small daily use items, non fancy, non technology oriented, in the candles, cotton rods, and all these products used to be the Newell and Rubbermaid. Rubbermaid products are mostly plastic or rubber oriented. Newell had other metals and other items. So this is a company we are talking about which has multiple small items, many products overall. So at different point they had 5 lakh different items. Okay, both of about typically household will have in US, everyone use that. So again, we use some of those products. Think about what kind of innovation you can do on a bucket, plastic bucket. Can you think what are the innovations you can do on a plastic bucket? So how do you convert a plastic bucket into a trash can? You have the lever where you can open the lid with your leg, right? So that is one usage you can have. First of all, they started with the cover, the lid for that bucket or that plastic box, this thing, right? So that is one. The next innovation was about adding the foot lever. So this has, you can, in our daily use, they add up to efficiencies and so on. What's the other innovation possible in a bucket? One is add wheels, right? If you add wheels onto the bucket, what will happen? You will see those big buckets or the big things which carry load in terms of your the cleaning people, or in your hospitals or hotels, you will see that they carry those big products which has wheels, right, which is essentially a bucket. The bucket becomes now a commercial, ready for commercial use. Instead of, let's say, a 10 or 20 liter bucket, now you can carry huge amount of this thing, right? Think of the hotel corridors or your hospital corridors, the cleaning staff or the staff using those kind of buckets. So these are small and interesting innovations the organizations had, right? This is a company which had almost 90% success rate when it comes to new products, and as the organization charter was, they have at least 30% of the sales each year coming from products that are less than 5 years old. So basically, if you classify less than 5 years old as your newer products, you will have 30% of the revenue coming from these products, which means the organization had to continuously innovate, continuously bring up new items and so on, right? More robust design, robust this thing, yeah. So you will see that. So you will see, again, you may not see the Rubbermaid brand. So these are available in India, but you will see in any plastic items and all, they copy some of those ideas. So these ideas, how do they come up? So the new product strategy here is designed into the organization's basic vision or basic concept, and the product strategy is always to meet consumer need. The product rate is, new product rate is high, very high diversification is required, desired. So why they are doing high diversification? One is, in these items, what is happening, this is, it's not See, unlike, let's say I can change my shirt every 2 days. Okay, so you will buy a shirt every month. Okay, so you will have different the fancy items, right? There is a fashion concept to it. So you need to upgrade that. When you buy these kind of items, let's say you buy a bucket in your house, you are not going to change it because some fancy thing you saw in the mall, right? You will buy when this one is out of use, okay, has become old. You will, these are only functional products. The example that we gave you in this case is all are very functional products. You will not buy it on impulse, okay. So you may buy some crockery or some utensils, but not necessarily will not buy them regularly, the boxes and so on. You'll buy when there is need. So how do you increase the revenue? The only way you can sell more or increase is when you have innovation, when you come up with new products or designs and so on, right? So this is typically market driven, not technology driven. So these are not high technology products also. So when we say these are not, don't need adding a wheel, probably doesn't need a lot of technology here, but design aspect is there, okay. A lot of these are, they keep on innovating. So some of those recent innovations, for example, now today, what could be the recent innovation? It is using old tires or old rubber items into new form of products and so on, recycling, right, or sustainability. These would be again that drive the current innovation, okay. So let's look at how do they get the ideas in this case. Typically from understanding the customer problem, right, the focus groups. So there is some example where the CEO was in a hotel and saw the doorman or the person who is cleaning complaining about the not able to sweep the dirt into that that container, that the small piece where you collect the dirt, right. If it is too thick, it will not collect properly. So that idea, so this is basically that led to creating thin dustpans and having an edge where you can collect easily, right. These are some of those you listen from customers, right. When you do customer complaints, the other idea is that they encourage customers to post their problems, usage problems. So that and they invite customers for focus groups and so on. So in a way, the executives are here encouraged to read all the complaints or dissatisfied customers. So problem, find, solve is encouraged at all levels. The organization, everyone is trying to solve the customer problem, right. One, the dustpan was one example. Adding lead to the bucket was one example, okay. So you have furniture product based on lifestyle changes, right. The different types of furniture, size of furniture and so on, depending on, let's say the living room size reduces, so you will come up with different ideas, okay. So you need, let's say, people who can use a glass or where you can drink near a swimming pool, then you need to have robust plastic glasses or products instead of your glass products there, right. These are based on the customer's thing, they keep on innovating, right. This is an organization, yeah. So it's again, it's more about idea generation and innovation and so on. So how did they, when the Rubbermaid was acquired by Newell, one of the challenges for the organization is how to keep the innovation culture within the organization, right. In a large organization, sometimes a smaller, when you are acquiring another company, the culture may get diffused. So what's the idea you will do here? What Newell did is kept Rubbermaid's execution, the plant separate from Newell. Newell was keep on doing your efficiency or more about skill related efficiency and so on, whereas Rubbermaid continued with its focus on innovation. And that innovation product culture, one of the ideas why Newell acquired Rubbermaid in that case was to get that product innovation as a capability, okay. So organizations, when this is an organization which is remarkable or reputed for product innovation, so a household brand or household company like your Newell had to acquire Rubbermaid to get those resources or capabilities into their fold, okay. That's one example, okay.